Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Appreciate it. I'm sure you guys are fired up to be here.
So when Paula and I started dating, I asked her, do you know what they call Thanksgiving in the NFL? And I said Thursday.
No doubt.
How do you kind of balance that today? I mean, we weren't here last year to talk to you about this, so how are you kind of doing it with your guys?
Yeah, so we've got a condensed schedule. I think we moved the morning up a little bit, but also just we're making sure that we're very efficient with our time in the building, and we kind of sped everything up and try to get these guys out of here a little bit earlier so they can, still get the work in, because we obviously know that's a big part of it, is making sure our preparation's on point in order for us to go out there and play our best ball, but also allow these guys some time with their families.
Now, what's your sense of just the attitude, the approach of the guys on defense this week? Trying to bounce back from the Minnesota game.
Well, our guys defensively know it's going to be a great challenge. You just look at the offense. I think there was some analytical data that I got that said this is either the best or second best offense in terms of efficiency in the National Football League. So they're extremely explosive, obviously, leading the league in yards per play. And so I think our guys are motivated, but they also know it's going to be a great challenge, and we're going to need everybody's best in order to go out there and compete against a great offense.
And did Aaron Jones come through okay, and what did you see from him yesterday?
Yeah, Aaron did a nice job out at practice. Certainly, we're going to see how he progresses throughout the week and see where he is, on Sunday.
Hey Matt, was it your first year already where I remember you and Nathaniel and Aaron talking about how defenses would have a certain MO and then they would play you and they would do things that were completely different? Did that start right away your first year?
I think that's been throughout his career. It just everybody has a different maybe philosophy or mindset in terms of how they want to attack him.
So philosophically for you then, how do you prepare for that? Because you don't want to be preparing for a bunch of ghosts that you're not going to have to worry about, but you also have to know that they're not going to do necessarily, what do the Rams always, they almost always play zone. Do you prepare part of it for they might go man-to-man, or what do you how do you approach it?
Yeah, I think that's always kind of built into our offense is the more all-purpose plays you can have, the better off typically you are. And certainly there always are some game plan plays, but I think that's just kind of the balancing act you face on a weekly basis is trying to predict to the best of your ability what somebody might do to you. And then I think the added challenge this week is the fact that, LA's coming off a bye week. Is sometimes I'd say most of the time there's a lot of self-scout that goes on during that week, and you might get a new wrinkle here or there, and that's why it's so important for our guys to trust their rules.
What have you seen with Yosh's approach this week and just how he's kind of getting ready to step back into a big role on Sunday?
I think it's been the same every week. He knows he's only one play away, and that was the mindset going into every game, and I think he's taken that to heart. I think he always prepares like he's the starter.
You talked about giving your players some time to spend with their families. But what about you? What does Thanksgiving look like in the LaFleur household?
Much the same, I would say. First of all, taking care of business at work and making sure that we get all our preparation in that we typically would get, and then prepare for tomorrow's practice, and then as soon as we're done with that, then I'll go home. What time does that look like? I couldn't tell you. It varies every year, I would say. I just know that I've made the mistake, especially earlier in my career, of giving my wife an exact time I'll be home, because I never seem to make that.
Does your family have to wait for you to start dinner, or how does that work? You just
Oh, absolutely not. I tell them to go. You start. Just be ready to warm up a plate for me on the way home.
Matt, was it like that for you as a kid, or was your dad's seasons usually done by the time Thanksgiving rolled around? Or?
Gosh, that was a long time ago, Jason. I would say, typically, I want to say most of the time their season was pretty much over. That was in the days where it didn't go nearly as long as the college football season lasts nowadays. So I would say the majority of the time I think they were already done.
Plus, I'm sure Ohio U had advanced farther than them.
Ohio U? They play football there? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, let's go to Zoom. Sarah, go ahead.
Yep, we'll go ahead and get started. Tom Silverstein.
Hey Matt, I actually got two for you. The first one, Aaron was talking about how he identifies some plays he'd like to see on Fridays because he's not really working with you guys. So first, does he get in any full speed practice on Friday? And the other thing is, does that change the way you're doing practice at all because he's really not working on Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, Tom, it's great to have you here today.
Thanks.
But no, I would say that he does get full speed work in on the Fridays, and then we'll always reserve some of those plays for him to make sure that he gets reps at them. I would say a lot of our practice on Fridays is dedicated to the red zone work, but certainly we'll always leave some spots in there for plays that, on our base downs or third down or whatever it may be. If he wants a rep at that, we're going to make sure we get that in.
We have some LA media. We'll start with Gary Klein.
I have another.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steven.
Besides telling you that I had Thanksgiving week for 25 straight years. So. The other was, haven't heard anything about Josh Myers for a long time. Is there any way he's coming back this year?
Yeah, we have not ruled him out. Again, it's a long process in regards to his comeback from that injury. I mean, we're optimistic, but to give you a timeline, I can't do that at this moment.
Thanks.
All right, go ahead, Gary Klein.
Hey Matt, happy Thanksgiving from Los Angeles. Just wanted to ask, when you and Sean were the younger coaches, did you guys ever talk about what it would be like to run offenses with an established, experienced NFL quarterback, guys like Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford? And if so, what those conversations kind of were like when you were younger?
Yeah, Gary, happy Thanksgiving to you. Absolutely. That's something I think growing up in this business early on in our days in Washington, we always would talk about what it would be like to coach a guy like Aaron Rodgers and just how you're basically limitless in what you want to get accomplished on the offensive side of the football. And now he's got another great quarterback in Matthew Stafford for him to do that. And I think you're seeing just the benefits of that, just how explosive that offense is. And it's not just Matthew. There's plenty of great players, when you look at Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, OBJ, Higbee is a guy that, I think is one of the more complete tight ends in this league, Van Jefferson. So he's got a lot of weapons to work with. You combine that with a really good offensive line and then the quarterback, and you're seeing the benefits of that.
Thanks very much.
Lindsay Theory.
Hey Matt, thanks for letting us hop on here and happy Thanksgiving. Just speaking of Matthew Stafford, how much have you seen Sean's approach to his offense kind of evolve and change this year with Stafford as his quarterback?
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too, Lindsay. I would say that he has been very aggressive. You can see that there are a lot of longer developing plays where he's pushing the ball down the field. So you truly have to defend the entire width of the field as well as the length. And we all know Matthew's got a big arm, and I think just you can see that with some of the play calling. He is being very, very aggressive, and that's why it's so important for us to make sure we try to keep, as best we can, everything in front of us.
Thanks, Matt.
Kevin Modesti.
Good morning.
morning, Matt. At the end of the playoff game last January, Aaron Donald was visibly upset. And he was indicating yesterday that that does give him extra motivation going into Sunday. What's your reaction to hearing that Aaron Donald might be extra motivated?
I want to cry. No, he is. I tell you what, this guy is a complete game wrecker. I got so much respect for him. First of all, just I think we talked about it earlier this week. Just how he approaches the game, his work ethic, what kind of teammate he is, and then he's able to be as effective in the run game as he is in the pass game. I mean, every play, his motor is nonstop. And then you look at his play time, and he's playing almost the entire game every week. So he's just relentless. He's got the right mindset. Certainly don't want him to be any extra motivated, but it's going to be a great challenge for not only our offensive line and some of those individual matchups that he's going to have up front, but for everybody on our offense. Everybody needs to make sure that they're doing their job to the best of their ability in order to try to stop a premier player like that.
Well, just to follow up, what is the state of the offensive line? You know, you've had some injuries there.
Yeah, it's been a blessing and a curse in terms of we've been able to get a lot of guys a lot of time, but just that continuity up front, it seems like every other game we've got somebody new in the lineup. But, we've got a lot of confidence in that group. I think Adam Stenovich, Luke Buckus, they both do a great job getting our guys prepared. And, we're just going to go out there and compete to the best of our ability.
Thanks, Matt. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Jordan Rodriguez.
Hi, Matt. Thanks for doing this with us this morning, taking the extra time. On offense and defense, both these two teams, to me, sort of represent modernized shifts in philosophy and how the league cycles are sort of evolving toward the types of things that you guys both are doing offensively and defensively and have for a little while. I'm wondering, from your perspective, being a part of some of those things on offense and then also being a part of those on defense, those natural cycles that the league always has, competitively, how things evolve and change. Are they happening faster, in your opinion, now? And if they are, what are the catalysts in that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jordan. In terms of, I think this league is cyclical, and you've got to make sure that you're constantly evolving. Otherwise, people are going to pass you by. As far as, is it happening faster? I mean, that's tough to say. I think a lot of it is a byproduct of what players that you have and how do you put those guys in the best position possible.
On offense, sorry, just to follow up. On offense, do you think there's an advantage point in having a veteran quarterback and forcing that change to happen faster?
Well, I think it just, anytime you have a veteran, they've seen basically everything that can get thrown at them. There's very little out there when you have guys that have played as many years as Aaron or as Matthew that a defense is going to present that maybe they haven't seen. Now, every week is a new challenge in terms of the personnel that the defense presents that with. But, certainly I would say that enables you to work whatever concept or game plan type plays that you want in order to try to take advantage of whoever you're going against.
Thanks very much, Matt.
No problem.
Go ahead, Nick Hamilton.
Good morning, Coach. Happy Thanksgiving to you. You talk about Aaron Donald, but also too, Von Miller now has joined the group. So what makes it more challenging for you as far as facing this defense now with Aaron Donald and Von Miller?
And don't forget about Leonard Floyd. He's pretty good off the edge. They got Robinson inside. There's so many guys up front that certainly 99 is going to get the attention. I mean, he's been Player of the Year and rightfully so. But all those guys have the ability to wreck the game. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us. Snap in and snap out every down, just putting our best foot forward in order to try to neutralize that extremely talented front. And I think Raheem does such a great job of putting those guys in position to make plays and have an impact on the game.
And last one, Carolyn Jones.
Hey Matt, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for taking the time. Obviously your career win percentage as a head coach is very high. But for you personally, how long did it take to get settled into the day-to-day routine and minutia of being a head coach as opposed to being an assistant? I'm
still getting used to it. It's just, there's things that come up on a daily basis that you can't account for. And that's the one thing, I guess, in my time in LA was so special for me to see and to be so close to Sean and to see how he dealt with everything. And he certainly had that no flinch mentality in terms of whatever's thrown at him, he's going to keep finding solutions. And that has been beneficial, I would say, in my development as a head coach as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. No, we will be outside, so dress warm. Oh, wait, you guys won't be there for that part, right?